Hello everyone on YouTube, it's Jordan here. Fortunately you won't be able to see me because my light bulb's broke, unfortunately. But this is going to be another a video for the blind, and it's to do with Android. Because I have finally switched to Android. I'll tell you the phone I've got now here. This here is the ever so cool Samsung Galaxy S8. Still a great phone, 4 years later. And you're probably wondering, what makes Android better than iOS? Well, what I love is the ability to customize Android. Want some new ringtones added to your phone? Oh, you can go ahead and do that. iOS, you can only do that through the iTunes store. That's according to Apple anyway, because there is no option to do it on the iPhone. And in order to do it on an iPhone, you need to know where your ringtones are stored, and you need a computer to do so. And you risk slowing down your computer if you just install the software that does it. I'm talking about iTunes. But what's the deal with Android then? The software you need? Well, if you're on a Windows PC, you can go ahead and do it straight away because what it enables you to do is you go ahead and say, once you've allowed your Windows computer to access your phone, if you put any file with the .ogg extension in your ringtones or notifications folder, and then you go into your sound settings, you'll be able to use it as a ringtone or notification. So who knows? You can even use the iPhone ringtones if you're accustomed to those. But personally, I like the Samsung Galaxy S8 ringtones. They're the exact same as the ones on the Note 8 and the Note 9, and of course the Samsung Galaxy S9. The S9 and S8 though have exclusive ringtones and notification sounds too. So before we go ahead and do a little demo with the screen reader known as TalkBack, I'd like to make an honourable mention to Samsung Voice Assist, which is built in on the S9 and S8 if you're running Android 9. Both phones are running Android 9 and getting updates to Android 9. Well, they should be on Android 9. Most of them should be updated. I'm currently running the latest update, which was the October update. And I have to say, my experience with Samsung is just brilliant. I'm going to give you a little demo. So I'm using TalkBack. So I'm going to turn the phone on now, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. Your home screen and apps, they're not cluttered like they were on iOS. So I'm just going to turn the phone on.
1618.
And
swipe with 2 fingers to unlock.
There we go, you got my notification. So swipe with two fingers to unlock. Let me turn it back on again.
1618. Smart switch. What should this phone do?
And here's what the software's like. At the bottom,
home button. Double tap to activate.
There's a home.
Tap and hold to long press.
While there is no physical home button, you double tap this.
Home screen.
And you're on your home screen.
4 default page. Home screen. Page 2 of 4 default page.
If you want to get
search, double tap and hold to long press.
If you want to get to your app screen, you just swipe up.
App screen. Page 3 of 3.
So all my apps, they're organized.
More options. Finder search. Internet. Smart switch. Google Go. Firefox. Edge. It's Studio. More options. Finder search. Edit. Page 2 of 3.
Also, the screen ain't too small, so it can accept your gestures. On the iPhone 7, a lot of the voiceover gestures just didn't work. And that was
More options button.
I blame that entirely on Apple, not the design. So what are the apps like?
Authenticator. Assistant. Amazon Alexa. Samsung Notes. Play music. Calculator. Calendar. Settings. More options button. Find your phone companion. Twitter. One notification.
So I got Twitter,
Teams. Skype. Outlook. Messenger. Home. Authenticator. Assistant.
let me go back to page 1.
Chrome. Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold to long press. Actions available. Use. Facebook. 6 notifications. Double tap.
I love how it tells you you've got notifications as well, which is really, really good. And in my opinion, that is just so good.
Boom. Messages. Camera. Gallery. Clock. Contacts. Finder search. More option. Samsung. Google folder. Microsoft apps folder. Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold to long press. Actions available. Use swipe up then right to view.
So TalkBack is clearly good at telling you what you've got to do to access certain stuff. Haptic feedback as well. That is more than just brilliant. I think.
Play Store. One notification. Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold to long press. Actions available. Use swipe up then right to view.
And that Google has mastered it. And if you want to, here's what I do. I have my. The good thing is, I also own a Google Home smart speaker, and not only that, but I've also got it set up on my Android. So if I was to wake Google up on
Screen off.
either one of them, and the Google Home isn't listening, the Android will pick it up and accept my request. Whereas if both woke up, then the answer is passed on to the Google Home, and you just get the result pop up on the Android instead. It is really, really cool. So I've showed you how the screen reader works. I'll probably do a video of showing it work in some apps as well. And one of the best things about Android is, if you're anything like me and you're blind and visually impaired, you can customize it with different text-to-speech voices. I mean, come on. Nobody likes the built-in voices on the iPhone. I mean, I certainly don't. They're alright on the Mac, but not on an iPhone. I mean, I don't like Vocalizer. Especially when you consider that Apple hasn't updated the text-to-speech engine in a long time anyway. I mean, look at Fred. That was the first voice the Mac ever had. And macOS Alex was introduced in Snow Leopard. You can't change text-to-speech voices on any Apple device. You can on an Android device, and some are available in the Google Play Store, and some are available in the Samsung Galaxy Store if you own a Samsung like me. And that begs the question, why did I switch to Android then? Well, extra expandable storage. I mean, with an iPhone, what you get is what you get. You cannot expand the storage. Whereas on an Android, most Android phones have a micro SD card slot, so you can easily slot a micro SD card in there, expanding your storage greatly if you want to put photos on there and all that. And what about alarms? Well, about 10 minutes before your alarm goes off, you'll get a pop-up letting you know that your alarm will go off. But if you're asleep, you won't notice it. But if you're, say, setting reminder alarms, then that's really useful because it can get you ready for certain things. And yeah. And what about responsiveness? Very responsiveness. I have had no trouble at all. I mean, with TalkBack and, of course, Samsung Voice Assist, um, everything, everything's just more streamlined, more organized. I mean, if I want to, I mean, I've got two digital assistants on hand. I've got Bixby and I've got Google Assistant. So if you want Google Assistant on the Android side and Bixby on the Samsung side, I mean, you could basically think of it as two operating systems in one, but it is still regular old Android. And that's what makes it brilliant. It isn't really a Google phone because it's a Samsung phone, but you are running Android, and you know you're running Android when you've got the Play Store, so it even says when you go check in for updates as well. What about the first time running experience though, when you first power on the phone? Um, well, what happens is you'll get a vibration, a little one, and then if your phone boots up to the first time setup screen, then brilliant. Fast startup on a Samsung. My iPhone 7 took ages to start up. And here's where all iPhones just can't compare with Samsung. The Samsung is clearly the winner. The iPhone sometimes refuses to charge. I'm not kidding. My iPhone 7, it couldn't charge at all once. It was silly. It was pathetic. It was a terrible move. It doesn't have a headphone jack, so you were forced to buy AirPods, which also impacted the fact that the iPhone charging port could easily get broke. And what about customizing default apps? Android did it from the very beginning. iOS, Apple waited till iOS 14. But do your default apps stay? No, they don't. Because as soon as you reboot your iPhone, it's returned back to Safari. And hear me out on this. Safari is slow. Very slow. It can't even run properly on the Mac. And it just constantly freezes. Apple should really consider porting Safari to Chromium, like Microsoft did. Even Microsoft Edge dominates Safari. So I've showed you what the screen reader sounds like and stuff, and how navigation is. I mean, if you're accustomed to using VoiceOver, then Android is perfect. If you were planning on switching to Android, most of the navigation gestures are the same: swipe left and right, double tap. Although with TalkBack, because VoiceOver doesn't have a rotor, if you swipe up and down, then it's sort of like a mini rotor because you've got stuff like links, headings, dialog boxes and stuff, or the default, which I end up using. I mean, I could see where navigating by headings would come in handy, especially when you're in something like Chrome, which 99% of the time I end up using. But I do like Samsung Internet. It is fast, and it is awesome. I don't know why Google haven't considered adding the support for Chrome extensions on Chrome for Android. Even though they've not done it for iOS, they should consider making it exclusive to Android, because I'd love to see the ability to do that on Android. And dictation, boy, so much better than on my iPhone. I mean, because I'm holding a button down and speaking into the microphone, Bixby can understand what I say as well. And just leaves the question now, What if you switch to Android? And what if you want to switch? Well, there are some recommended phones. I mean, an older phone is really good for newcomers to Android. I mean, I've got an S8 which is 4 years old, and and that is running Android 9 Pie, which a lot of people, especially Android fanatics, um, just love so much. Even on the website for Android 9 Pie, it just goes to show that Android is doing a lot more than your average smartphone operating system is. And I have no regrets. I have no regrets right now. I love Android. If anything, I would deeply recommend people give it a try. I mean, I've tried iOS, hated it, and switched to Android. And the best thing is, you're not bragged to use two-step verification like you are on your Apple ID. I mean, come on. Signing in is bad enough as it is, especially since you can't tap that quick on a phone with a screen reader active, because you need to be careful what you're tapping in case you tap anything wrong. And especially as codes yes, I totally agree. That was just my phone giving me a reminder that I had notifications. That's another thing as well, notification reminders. They are brilliant. I mean, you can get it to go off every few minutes or whatnot, and it's just a great way to know that you've got notifications that require attention. And oh, what was I on to again? Oh yeah, that's it. Two-step verification on Apple ID. So, I mean, come on, not everyone can tap that quick when it comes to entering a verification code. Oh, and what if you don't have another Apple device? You won't be able to sign into your Apple ID if you've just got one Apple device. Especially when it comes to 2FA already. It just won't work. And here's the bad news. Apple products are just too expensive. Look how much this iMac was. £1,000. I mean, you can get a Windows desktop computer with the same specs or equivalent at a much cheaper price. That's not to say the Mac is bad, which it certainly isn't. The Mac is brilliant. Apple has nailed computers. Where it fails is its phones. It's the phone ecosystem, in my opinion. I did a video on why an Android is better than an iPhone when I was still using an iPhone. It's called Why an iPhone Can't Beat an Android Phone. And switching to Android, in my opinion, is probably the best decision I have ever made. I mean, if you're new to phones, then by all means go for an iPhone. If you want to get more out of a phone, like customization and possibly even setting things you want them to be, then you go for Android. And the thing about Android, and this is what I particularly love, you're not just limited to one piece of accessible software. There are 3 screen readers for Android. There is Samsung Voice Assist, which comes on Samsung phones. There is TalkBack, which I'm using. And there is a screen reader called Commentary, which is a commercial screen reader. You have to pay for it, unfortunately. So your best options are either Samsung or TalkBack. And what if you have a Braille Note Touch? Braille Note Touch users would be happy to know that their contents can sync. Well, you can share stuff from the phone with Android Beam wirelessly. I mean, AirDrop only shares with Apple products. Android phones can share with Windows and Macs and Linux and practically any operating system. So Android is a very flexible operating system, and that's just about one of the reasons why that pretty much sums up all the reasons in which I switched to Android. And I'll just go into the settings pretty quick. Well, actually, I'll show you the quickest way of opening apps. You've got 2 ways. I know that TalkBack interrupts Bixby. So
Swipe with 2 fingers to unlock. Device unlocked. 1 UI home. Samsung folder. 6 notifications. Google, Microsoft, Play Store, YouTube, Maps, Google, Chrome, Facebook, Phone, Messages, Camera, Gallery, Plug, Contacts, Finder search, more options.
the search box. I mean, if you want to search for anything, you don't have to keep swiping. You can just navigate to the Finder.
Finder search, edit box. Double tap to edit text, double tap and hold.
Double tap it,
Finder, English UK.
and you can edit what you want.
Shift is on. Z, Z, H, U, I, P, P.
So with an Android, in order to tap stuff, you need to drag your finger along the screen until you get to the letter that you want, and then you let go of it, and it taps in that letter. I think this is brilliant, to be honest, because I do like this idea, especially since it's more like a proper keyboard.
Screen off.
I mean, let's just look at what it'd be like. The screen's off at the moment, but your at sign, you don't have to go into your symbol keyboard in order to enable it.
$16.38. Keyboard. Your phone is.
And
Okay. Lock screen. Alarm. Wi-Fi. Swipe with 2 fingers. Device unlocked. Finder.
well, another thing I've noticed as well, and this is so brilliant, is I can put my phone down now, leave it, and it won't nag me that I have notifications like my iPhone did. My iPhone would constantly let itself drain. I mean, the screen wouldn't turn off. And this ain't my particular phone per se, but it happens to all iOS devices.
Screen off.
And that just about sums it up. I could be here all day talking about all of the things I love about Android, but the purpose of this video was to show you what I like about Android, give you a demo of some features, all the things I like about it, and uh, just to show you the screen reader that comes built into the stock Google Android TalkBack. I mean, not everyone likes Apple's VoiceOver. There's plenty of stuff that VoiceOver can't do. I mean, VoiceOver doesn't work with Pokemon Go for starters. VoiceOver doesn't work with any games. Don't know about Android, but Android is just highly customizable anyway, so I'm not going to complain. I mean, not everyone wants iTunes and not everyone wants to use iCloud. Google Drive as well, that is way better. 15 gigs? Get in there. iCloud gives you a measly 5 gigs. I haven't tried Samsung Cloud yet, but I'll release an update once I've tried it out, because I've still got much to learn about Android. But from the moment you boot the phone up, you know that while it's different, it is just an enjoyable experience. Anyway, oh, and what about the last thing I want to talk about is before I end the video. What about linking my phone to my PC? I couldn't do it on my iPhone, but I can on my Samsung. That's because Microsoft and Samsung, guess you could say they're set up like a partnership. So if you use the Your Phone app on Windows 10 and you link your Samsung Galaxy, what that enables you to do is read its messages on your PC, notifications will appear too, and on some Android devices, your PC will be able to run some Android apps. So you can run them in a separate window. And because it's Google, if you lose your Android phone, or you decide to upgrade to a newer phone, all your contacts and calendars, they'll just swiftly come back to you. They'll sync with your Google account, I believe. And right, that just about wraps it up. Thank you for watching. This is Jordan saying have a good day, everyone.